Hello and Happy New Year! It's Liz here with another Plan With Me video. This one is for January and I am actually very excited about this year, so I'm feeling really good with going into all of this. So let's just jump right into it. Actually, I just thought about it. Instead of hopping into January, let's go ahead and review December to see how everything worked out, and I can kind of talk through the design and function of what I set up in my last video, and then how I'm going to be adapting that into this next month. So starting off for December, I already showed this and everything, but going to the editorial calendar, I very much liked this layout. I didn't utilize it as much as I could have, but it wasn't the fault of the design. It was just more so because of the holidays and just kind of being all over a bit. But I very much like this design. I do want to carry this over for January and probably just change up the design from green to another color as I see how it works. So then into the next pages, I liked my monthly layout, and then my to-do page, and then yeah, the little details and everything. But I feel like this was good spacing overall. There were empty gaps, but like I said, it was the holidays and I didn't really fill it out or feel the need to. With my time log, this one worked out pretty well. I did not keep track of everything, so definitely learning that I need to be a bit more aware with my time and learn to slow down in order to keep track of what I'm actually doing. Because if I'm not keeping track of what I'm actually doing, it's almost like, what's the point, right? I think that's the point of living with awareness and living with mindfulness. If I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing in my life, am I really living? But anyways, that's just some musings that I have. So moving on, I went straight into my weekly spreads. And what I noticed was I was not keeping track of everything that I really wanted to do. And so going into the following week, I added some space to be able to track tasks and like have a recap and everything. But then that's when it got way too cluttered, and like I thought it was a fun little layout, but yeah, there just wasn't enough space to track everything that I wanted to do. So then going into week 3 of December, I decided to separate it into a tasks recap and then a meal tracker for the week, separate from my dailies. And I found that that worked really well. The other thing I noticed too going into this week was I was having trouble keeping track of all the projects that I had. And so I separated it into the different areas that I was kind of working on at the time. And so I had my blog, music, YouTube, writing, and then also tracking other things including Instagram, planning, tracking AdSense and getting that built out, and then working with Pinterest as a platform for advertisement and exposure and visibility for my blog. And yeah, it's just like all the other pages, I did not fill this out with the things I was working on. And it's, I don't want to say embarrassing to show this, I think it's just more of enlightening on how the plans we lay down are only effective when we use them as they are meant to be used. And so that's definitely something I'm keeping track of going into this next month as I'm building out the spreads. And so after that, I did have like a basic page is just tracking separate notes and recap. And then this was the final week of filling things out. I do very much like having the separation of a week overview, a project tracker, and then my dailies. And yep, as you can see, holidays happened and nothing was filled out. So that was pretty much all of that. And then I got into January. So let's go ahead and hop over there right now. And starting off, I do use my bullet journal for both personal and professional use and tracking. So to start off, we have my editorial calendar, and I like having this spread out this way so then that way as I have posts on my different sites, I can keep track of when they are, as well as keep track of when I need to upload certain things. I do have my goals listed on the side, and then I'm probably going to have a little key because I want to color coordinate, because I feel like you can't go wrong with some color coordination. And so moving on, for my personal monthly tracker, I just have it in list form over here, and then I have my to-do page and I have it separated into both personal and professional. And something new I'm doing, I'm actually including a little section to track things that I would like to do for next month. I do have my year overview at the beginning for this year, but I find that when I put the little tasks in there, it starts to look very overwhelming. So instead, as I think about things, I'm just going to toss them right in here, and then that way, as I'm building out my spread for February, I can just hop in here and be able to see this. And then that way, I can still keep it separate from the to-dos for this month specifically. And up here, I just like doing like little things like that, where every single month, as I'm kind of getting my journal together, it's just kind of like, what words am I thinking about going into this new month, and what do I kind of want to focus on? So for January, this time it's free and fresh. My next one is one of my professional spreads for my time log. I like using this so I can keep track of how much time I'm spending per day working on different projects, and then from there, what projects am I working on. That way I'm able to gain visibility on how I'm actually spending my day, where all of my effort is going towards, and then this way, once I can gather more information and keep a record of it, I can then utilize this information to make my process more efficient as needed, or also just to know if there's a better way for me to be doing things. I find being more aware of how I'm spending my time is going to assist me in building the best process going forward. So up next I have my weekly spread. And I like making these every single week. So I have an area for my tasks, and I have it separated into personal and professional. I have an area for recap, where I like to write down a couple things that I'm grateful for every day to help build mindfulness and also just a gratitude mindset, because I find showing appreciation for the things that have occurred in my life help me stay sane, especially because my mind can easily go into negative places, and I don't like that. It's not beneficial, and so I want to stop feeding into that. And down here I have my meal tracker. I do want to make a note of this. I do not do this in order to like count calories or anything. I actually have a lot of allergies that I've learned of recently, and I need to work on eliminating the things that actually hurt me. And so I'm just trying to keep track of the different supplements that are helping me restore internally, as well as keeping track of the things that I'm eating to make sure that I am helping to heal my body and not hurt it anymore. If you are interested in learning more about what I'm doing with my meal planning and that whole story, let me know in the comments below, because I can make a different video on it. It just is it's a long story, so no need to get into it for a plan with me. So moving on, my next one, this spread is actually for professional, and it is my project tracker. I haven't filled it out yet. I like to switch it over from the previous week, and I have it separated into my blog, music, YouTube, writing, and then I'm also tracking Instagram, because I find I forget to post things. And yes, I'm still doing it manually. I know that there's Tailwind that can do it for me, but the way that I see it, if I can't do it myself, I do not want to automate it. I want to accomplish that first before moving it over. And so I also have all of the space over here. I'm planning on building it out further, but before getting it too crazy, just want to keep it simplistic. I think I've said it before, but as pretty as bullet journals can get, I think that they're absolutely wonderful. But for me, I do not want to get overwhelmed by design. I want to keep it functional first and foremost. So once I build out the function and I start to get it more regular, then that's when I'll start playing more with design and everything else. So then after that, I go into my dailies, and then yeah, my simple week spreads. Nothing special or anything like that. For the lines, I just make little tiny dashes, so in that way it gives it a little bit of a design flair without being too much extra work. And so this is everything that I have at the moment, and then every single week as I go forward, I'm going to be making these 3 spreads for tracking personal and professional, and just working on building that mindset every single day. So this is everything that I have for this week. I hope you all have a fantastic start to your year and be mindful. I'll see you next time. Bye.